What's up, everybody? This is GreyMan here, and we're kind of going to go over what I have planned for this coming gardening season. Now, my gardening season really hasn't stopped. Of course, it slowed down a bit, so I figured I'd kind of give you guys a basic lowdown or an update on what I have planned moving forward this year and what I plan to do. I kind of going to step it up a little bit in regards to what I'm growing and how much I'm growing, and kind of want to go over that with you guys. And also, I always like to look forward to tips and things that you guys have and the stuff that I'll be growing. And I'll end up doing a follow-up video here in a few weeks or so once I get going on this project, and go over some of the stuff that I'm planting and things that I feel that work good in zone 9. I think I'm zone 9B if I'm absolutely to be precise about it. And I've been doing a lot of research over the last several months, so we're going to see how that plays out. But anyways, I'll give you a tour roughly of what we have and what I plan on doing, and kind of a walk around of like what's going to happen and how things are going to be moved around a bit, and we'll see how this year pans out. I might honestly, to be honest with you guys, yes, this is a preparedness or prepping channel, but I might do a lot more gardening stuff this year than I did last year, just because I'm focusing heavily on that kind of material. Because self-sufficiency is key, folks. You sure having the the Augustin's Farms, or there's the train in the background, having the Augustin's Farm stuff, as well as like the nutrient survival, and the list goes on of all that kind of stuff like that. My canned goods, my pantry pack. I need to hone and better my skills in the gardening aspect of things. I have a lot to learn. I learned a lot over the last year, but still a lot more to go. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and cut this and kind of take you guys around and kind of give you ideas of what I have planned and what I'm doing. And if you guys have any ideas, of course, drop them down in the comments as well. Because one of the things I'm going to be using, and my apologies about the sun, it's kind of creeping through there. Let's see if I can move it around a little bit. There we go. Nope. Let me block it with my head here. So, I don't know if you guys have heard. I think they're called Vero, but anyways, they're garden beds. They're above, raised garden beds. And they're kind of a metal galvanized steel thing, and you kind of put them together and you can do different sizes with them. So I'm going to be incorporating that in this year, and I'll kind of show you what I plan on, how I plan on sticking them around and whatnot. But yeah, so that's the goal for this year, and let me kind of show you what I have left that's kind of still growing. And I mean, it slowed down tremendously, but I think I could do better. I definitely think I can do better in regards to growing all year round. So I got to do some alterations. Anyways, enough of me rambling. Let's get to this little quick tour of what I'm going to do and what's left in the garden currently. All right, so I'll see you guys here. In this section here, along this whole thing here, all this here is going to be roughly, most of it's going to be probably sweet potatoes. I'm going to fill this in with all sweet potatoes as ground cover, but I'm going to let them just kind of go rampant in this area, and I think they'll grow pretty good. And I might do some sunflowers across this back thing here as well. It's a pretty long area. We tried growing pumpkins here last year. To some degree, we had some sort of success, but all in all, not as well as I expected. If you guys remember some of my previous garden videos, I showed you how this was nothing. But what I plan on doing here is putting those garden beds, big old huge garden beds in these sections here. And I know the camera's kind of bouncing around a little bit, but a couple of those, and I'm also going to be using some cattle panels or whatnot for my cherry 100 tomatoes. So those are going to take up some of those areas in there. So I'll have a couple garden beds back there, and then I'll have the what are they called, the raised panels that are going to come across there, and the cherry tomatoes will probably grow over that, or the cherry 100s. Now I do have some tomatoes that are still growing here. As you can see, we are in January 3rd, and we still got tomatoes, popping out everywhere. This one is about had it here, a couple of them, but it's about end of its life and whatnot. But I'm letting it finish producing its fruit. This is supposed to be nothing, but the basil found itself over here, and I just let the basil grow just to grow. And look, we got some good sized tomatoes in here as well. This plant's not doing too bad still. The Thai chili pepper is pretty much almost had it. All the leaves are gone off, but so I gotta prune this up and get some of these peppers off here and get them dehydrated and put away. This is our purple hall pea plant. I think I've got most of the pea, oh no, we still got some growing. It keeps on producing, so that's a plus. And like I said, it just keeps on going. We're just kind of letting it do whatever it wants, if it wants to crawl over and whatnot. Now this thing here, this huge thing here, right? This was just it was a sucker because the original plant died. This is a heirloom tomato plant. I wish I could think of the actual name for it, but it does produce massive fruit. If you look at the size of that tomato there, and I have pretty good sized hands, that's a big boy. So it's still coming along. We're gonna let it do what it's gonna do. I was gonna top it, but it looks like it might still be trying to produce up here and whatnot. But it's kind of, it needs to be trimmed back on with suckers and whatnot. And I think, if I recall correctly, these things are your determinants or whatnot. Oh, that's the Cuban oregano sitting over there, still chugging along. So I don't know if you guys remember back here, if I can squeeze through here. So what the missus has planned for this is she plans on doing a bunch of flowers, kind of like a, what's the word I'm looking for, butterfly garden, just a bunch of pretty flowers to get the bees going and stuff like that. There's not going to be any vegetables or nothing back here, so we cleaned this out and we're redoing that as well, because it's kind of shaded due to all these plants up here. So we'll see how it does. You can see it does get some indirect sunlight, but it's just an experiment over here. These are the banana peppers, and oh, looks like we still got banana peppers coming on through. I can't see her down in there. Oh yeah, there's some banana peppers coming. Usually pick these on a consistent basis, and you guys have seen me do a lot of the banana peppers and whatnot. Another healthy tomato sitting here. A couple more over there. What do we got here? We got some of the green peppers. This plant's pretty much almost done, I think. I don't know. We got a couple of them floating around through here. I think it's done. This is a new plant. I forget what this is like a baby pepper plant. I forget what she put in here. But I told her I'm going to have to move things around because we got going. And like I said, this thing still has peppers going here and there. Here's where we fail at most of the time, and we're going to try something new. These are supposed to be carrots. I'm not going to mess with them too much, but most of them die. I don't think they do well in these type of things, so I'm going to try something different with the carrots, and I'll show you that here as well in a second. This is my yellow bell pepper. Spot one good size one off there. And I think this one is the red bell pepper. It's kind of hiding through here, so let's kind of get on that one there. And what do we got here? And then she decided to put a habanero in here late in the season, but you know, happy wife, happy life, whatever she likes to do, and she wants to add things to the garden. This is her garden, it's just as well as it's mine. And as you guys know, I've been trying to get rid of all this basil, which is funny because we let it go to seed and we've been getting, cleaning it out and whatnot. But if you look, the basil has found its way anywhere you can think of it. It's basil there, there's basil in here, basil over there, and I'm pretty sure there's other spots that I'm missing that basil has found its way into. Yeah, matter of fact, let's come over here, and there's basil in there hanging out with our rosemary that died off for a while and now has come back heavy. So we got plenty of rosemary, and this stuff smells so good. I like to touch it because it gets on my hands and it smells like rosemary. This here is the Bok Choy. She wants to she let it go all to flower because, basically this thing died so many times. I mean, just look at the system of that. This thing died, broken in many pieces, and it still continued to find a way to sustain itself. And so she's going to let that basically flower, and she's going to try to collect some seeds with it. This is going to be a new addition to the family. It's about, I don't know, 8 months old or so, but this is a blueberry. I haven't figured out where I'm going to put this in. I'm going to put it probably in a 15, a little bit bigger than that one. That's, I think, 5 gallons or something like that. But I think we're going to put it one like over there in the banana plant, which I'll go over there in a second. It looks like the Swiss chard is still going. And of course, I don't know if you guys know, there's herbal remedies when it comes to catnip. You can use catnip for different things like teas and tinctures outside of just stuff for your kitty. And this is, like I said, this, I'm thinking about putting that blueberry in something like this, where that, now these I got to propagate pretty much, or if that is that the proper term for it, but I got to pull these out because these are sprouts from the banana plant. So now we have 3 more, and I'm going to pull these out and put them in buckets like this. And I'm hoping this year this thing will produce some fruit, which would be really cool to show you guys and see how much we can harvest out of something like this. And here's the old dilapidated, I don't know if you guys can even see this thing. This is the Blackberry Bush, which really didn't do well for us, but it's still growing. I'm going to cut it back a lot and kind of give it a restart this year, and maybe put it in the ground and see how it does. This here is the broccoli that never could. I don't know, it just keeps on growing. My wife, she likes to keep things no matter what, as long as it has color to it, she wants to keep it. So if you ever, I don't know if you guys have ever seen a broccoli that long, but yeah, she loves the color of the leaves and whatnot, so she's just rolling with it. And that's another one of her jasmines back there. And here's the man, I am like 6'1", and this thing is about 5.5. This is the end of the sunflower. As you can see here, it's had its life. I'm basically waiting for all this to get like a brown color to the bottom of it. So once it gets brown and whatnot, I will cut it about 12 inches down and let it hang dry, so that when the seeds, I don't know if you can see the seeds in there, they're white right now. Wait till they get black. I've already harvested the other one that was here. I should have showed that, I guess, but this is the end of its life. And of course, I don't know if you can see the size of my hand on this thing, but it's massive. I'm trying to see if I can get it in my hand, but it's huge. It's huge. So we'll harvest the seeds from that. We can either consume or regrow, which we're going to use some to regrow a bunch of sunflowers this year. And I think, did I cover most of this stuff? Plants, I'm just kind of giving it like a little look around. But anyways, so like I said, over in that area over there, like I said, we're going to basically, let me walk over here, I guess. These are going to be, I'm going to build these above these, they're called Vero, I think, Vero garden beds. They're kind of, like I said, they're galvanized, and they're probably, I think they're about 3 feet by 6 feet. I'm going to probably put 3 of them across here, and then further back in this area, that's what I'm going to do the cattle panels for the Cherry 100s. And like I said, you'll see a big change in the garden from where it is now to what it looks like this year. I'm kind of ducking behind plants and whatnot, but yeah. So all in all, you're going to see a lot of big changes when it comes to the garden. Everything that's growing, we're going to move around a little bit and make some more room. And then who knows, we might be getting some birds this year in regards to chickens and whatnot. Let me switch this camera around. So like I said, Fat Man wants me to get on his quail thing, so I might dabble with the quail. We got to get an incubator and whatnot. He said he'll send me some eggs and stuff like that. And the wife thinks it's a good idea as well. She'll think it's pretty cool. Like I said, I think Fat Man said roughly every 5 or 6 eggs equal 1 chicken egg. And it depends on, you know, your preference and whatnot. But, and then we're probably, if everything works out right with my connection at Tractor Supply, we're probably going to get about 3 hens as well. So we'll see how that all plays out financially and everything works out well. I've already talked to the current person, that the landlord, because we don't have our homestead yet. Hopefully by the end of this year, and of course, you know, I'll keep you guys updated in regards to that. But hopefully it'll all play itself out by the end of this year. So I'm going to go hard on the garden just in case. And like I said, just learning and absorbing all the knowledge that I can research and read, as well as from you, the viewers, which is always greatly appreciated in regards to what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, because I said the chicken coop and stuff where I was videoing earlier, that's where all that's going to go. And to kind of tell you what I was going to do about the carrots and stuff is this little thing I got over here. Let me flip this around here. So this is kind of like a garden bed, raised garden bed or whatever, and we're going to fill it up with some good stuff. We're going to clean all the soil, add nutrients and stuff like that, and try the carrots in this section here and see how it works if we try to run the carrots in this versus doing in the you know, these kind of buckets here. So all in all, that's the gist of it. Like I said, it's come a long way if you guys have watched any of my garden videos and whatnot. And of course the shade house, where we do a lot of our seeds and mixing of soils and all that stuff like that. It's fun. I enjoy it. And I'm trying to get out of the sun so the sun doesn't mess with you guys and whatnot. Yeah, that's a lot better. So all in all, that's just a quick update on what I have planned for 2022 here in the garden. And if you guys want, the viewers kind of help steer me in things that I like to do, or not like to do, but kind of give me feedback on the type of content that I'm producing for YouTube. And this is where I kind of want to focus on this year as well, is do a lot more gardening videos, especially as I'm learning and how I'm doing things. And like I said, learning from you, and some folks may be learning from me. That's what we call the community does, is spread knowledge and share knowledge and learn from one another. So I think that's very awesome. Other than that, this is GreyMan, and like I said, tomorrow is Tuesday. I'll be live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you care to join. We always have a good time and whatnot on the channel. We'll figure out what to talk about by that point, and I have a couple ideas. But other than that, thank you for hanging out with me for this little bit in this little garden kind of exploration thing that I'm doing here. Other than that, this is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys on the rebound. God bless.